sports, Ohio softball continues its dominance. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Brenna Nye.
And I'm Reese Thompson. Welcome to Newswatch. Athens has been having absolutely beautiful weather lately. Now, Jake, is that here to stay?
It is. So actually, we do have warming for the next couple of days, but that'll soon change. We are expecting a little bit of rain coming this weekend, but before we get there, have you guys enjoyed any of this nice weather?
Oh, absolutely. I've been outside nonstop.
I've been in shorts and a tank top, and I never wear that.
My dog loves the dog park, especially when it's a sunny day like this. And if you take a live look at our beautiful Athens campus, you can see it is not just clear, it's not just sunny, but you also have people just enjoying those beautiful sun rays. Now, those temperatures are currently set at 79 degrees. We have those clear skies. Big thing to talk about, though, are those wind gusts with that. We're seeing about 16 miles per hour wind gusts with a constant 8 mile per hour breeze. Now, the other thing I mentioned is humidity is relatively low, and that's a concern in the area, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, across the area, it's not just here in Athens that's enjoying those beautiful temperatures and the clear skies, but that's also all across Ohio here in Ohio Valley. Now, as we move and see this little warning map, you see this purple is the special weather statement issued by the National Weather Service, and even up there towards Pittsburgh where you'll see that bright pink, that's a red flag warning, and that's because with these sunny conditions and with those slight winds and the low relative humidities, unfortunately, that's also prime ingredients for wildfire development. But we'll see overnight tonight, those temperatures will drop relatively low, 47. Big concern with that would be any type of frost development on those windshields. Back to you guys at the desk.
In Parkersburg, West Virginia, Wood County school teacher's aide has been arrested for the battery and assault of a disabled person. The 34-year-old Ryan Caston was arrested for the crimes.
Caston is accused of grabbing a victim by their arm and hair, as well as slapping the victim multiple times as a result of the disabled student supposedly acting out. Caston is being held on a $25,000 bond. The hearing will be held on April 19th at the Wood County Magistrate Court. A local community group, Logan in Bloom, is ready to share its latest scenic route with the public.
Newswatch reporter Emma Dahlmeyer has more on the latest addition to the Hocking Hills State Park.
A new trail located in the Hocking Hills region is now open to the public to educate visitors about an important pollinator, the butterfly.
There are so many people who are looking for places to see wildlife up close, and what's more beautiful than a field full of butterflies.
Andy Jones, who serves on the Butterfly Trail Committee, is a volunteer with Logan in Bloom, the community group responsible for the project.
We're trying to help people deepen their appreciation for the fragile environmental landscape here in the Hocking Hills.
What started as one large set of monarch butterfly wings for people to take photos with is now a 14-stop trail of multiple sets of wings, funded by Hocking Hills Tourism Association, showcasing different kinds of butterflies with information on their lifespan, what they eat, where to find them, and how to attract them to your yard.
We got some questions by a few visitors who said, where are the best places to see butterflies? And that kind of sat in the back of our heads for a while because we really hadn't thought much about that.
Before embarking on the trail, visitors can go into the Welcome Center to receive their butterfly passports, which they can get stamped at each location, a map, a coloring book, and a sticker.
These are all butterflies that are native to this area, and what we've done is we've attempted to match the butterflies with a place where they're likely to actually be seen.
Visitors are encouraged to stop at each stop on the butterfly trail and snap selfies with all of the different butterflies and share their photos to social media using the hashtag Hocking Hills Butterfly Trail.
I'm shocked at all the people that are just stopping by to get their pictures taken. They want to see all the butterflies.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Emma Dahlmeyer in Logan.
If you're interested in visiting the trail, head to www.explorehockingHills.com for addresses to each stop. The Athens Cinema hosts the 50th year to giving a voice to underground artists from all over the world. Newswatch reporter Peyton Simchak has more on this year's festival.
The Athens Cinema screens over 200 diverse films from nearly 50 countries. For 50 years, the festival has been showcasing the work of underrepresented artists. Assistant programmer Josh Veith says it's part of their legacy to show films that don't often have an outlet.
So our reputation is we'll show all the stuff that is not mainstream, goes under the radar most of the time.
Festival staff member Michael Salter says often the films selected are a reflection of what is happening in the world.
Any good art of the moment is kind of a barometer of the culture. It shows what people should be caring about.
One of the films, Wiley's Last Resort, tells the story of one man's fight to celebrate Appalachian culture and protect the land he loves.
Hopefully it will just expose people to a person they may have not known about or a place they may not know about. Wiley's Last Resort is an amazing place, in the heart of Appalachia.
Co-director Sean Lind says they put together something special and relevant.
This world is full of stories, and many people deserve their stories to be told.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Peyton Simchek in Athens.
The festival will continue until Sunday. For more information, visit athensfilmfest.org. Coming up, the company Jewel pays 6 states in its $462 million settlement. Plus, a new slate of sanctions has been imposed on Russia. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
The weather is wacko.
Hurricanes are intensifying.
Extreme weather.
Drought and heat waves are more severe.
Is threatening America.
30 or 40 mile an hour wind howls for days on end.
But across the country, people are fighting back.
We're not going anywhere.
With innovation.
We can substantially cool down cities.
And ancient wisdom.
It's worked for 10,000 years. It can work again.
Weathering the future on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
In Costa Rica, much of life depends on a tiny little bird. An architect who brings flowers to the fields and fruit to the forest. The result is a realm bursting with wildlife. This is the hummingbird effect.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
Once upon a time in Merry England, there lived a boy called Tom.
We've got time, but maybe Christian doesn't.
More resilience in the natural world must be the key.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport. Support your PBS station and stream more with Passport on the PBS app.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow from Boise, see books.
Oh, that is so fabulous that people really keep enjoying these.
And booze collectibles.
Whiskey collectibles are really hot right now.
Wow, that's too much. That surprises me.
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from the Idaho Botanical Garden.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Juul is receiving pay back for its role in the youth vaping epidemic. The company has to pay the District of Columbia and 5 states over $400 million, with New York receiving over $100 million. The funds New York receives will help New Yorkers quit vaping and support underage vaping abatement programs. The 5 states receiving include California, Colorado, Illinois, Massachusetts, and New Mexico. The U.S. is imposing sanctions on more than 100 additional people and in titles allegedly tied to Russia's war on Ukraine. The U.K. is working with the U.S. Treasury Department to target Russian billionaire Alisher Usmanov. They accuse him of having ties to top officials, including Russian President Vladimir Putin. The U.S. Treasury also is sanctioning companies in China, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates that it says are supporting the war. They're also targeting the International Investment Bank, a Russia-controlled financial institution in Hungary. The Biden administration proposed plans to slash roughly 2 million acre-feet water usage in the West. The Interior Department proposed 2 potential solutions to combat the rapidly depleting water levels in the Colorado River, a result of 2 decades of drought and overuse of water supplies. One of the options include major Western cities taking a majority of the water cuts and prioritizing agriculture, a decision that could affect cities like Las Vegas, which gets 90% of its water from the Colorado River. The other scenario would spread water usage equally among cities, farmers, and tribes in the West. However, lengthy court battles between the federal and state governments could arise with this solution.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is launching a $5 billion investment dedicated to COVID-19. According to a DHS official, the project, called Next Gen, intends to develop new types of vaccines and treatments to get ahead of the rapidly evolving pandemic. Researchers hope the next generation of vaccines can shut down the infection before it ever gets the chance to make someone sick. This comes as the public health emergency for COVID-19 is set to end on May 11th. Air monitoring is currently underway at the site of a recycling plant in Indiana after a toxic fire broke out. This morning, more than 2,000 people have been evacuated within a half-mile radius of the fire. Laura Aguirre brings us the latest and who city officials are blaming for the fire.
This fire is going to burn for a few days.
Burning recycling materials like plastic, causing a massive plume over Richmond, Indiana. A plume so large it was seen from space by this NOAA satellite. And it's one the state fire marshal calls definitely toxic.
These are very fine particles, and if they're breathed in, can cause all kinds of respiratory problems. Burning of the eyes, tightening of the chest, it could aggravate asthma, could cause bronchitis and all kinds of things.
We've also activated our air monitoring assets as well to be sure that we understand what those air quality implications are.
While the exact cause is under investigation, city leaders placed the blame squarely on the recycling plant's owner.
This business owner had previously been cited by our Unsafe Building Commission and given an order to clean up the property. That order was ignored.
The mayor says they took that unsafe building order to court, where it was upheld. And they say there's been several attempts to force the plant's owner to clean up the property.
This person has been negligent and irresponsible, and it's led to putting a lot of people in danger today.
Those same people now waiting for word on if it's safe to breathe easy in their neighborhoods.
We've been on site since the beginning, and we're going to stay there until we can assure that this community is not seeing any threats from the air quality implications here.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Wayne County Health Department says N95 masks may filter out some of the airborne particles, but urge residents living near the plant to stay out of the half-mile radius evacuation zone and to follow all official instructions. New proposed rules from the EPA could help evolve the car culture in America. If strict new tailpipe standards are approved, most new passenger cars may go electric within the next decade. Gloria Pazmino has the details.
The Biden administration is betting big on electric.
We're driving towards a clean energy future.
On Wednesday, the Environmental Protection Agency proposed new car emission standards that could require electric vehicles to account for up to 2/3 of new cars sold in the U.S. by 2032.
We're starting to see all of the auto industry move in this direction.
Transportation is the biggest source of greenhouse pollution in the U.S., with light-duty vehicles accounting for 58% of those emissions. EPA Administrator Michael Regan says the goal is not only to tackle the climate crisis, but to bolster the economy long-term.
This is a really exciting proposal that codifies the president's vision for an electric future that wins the day in manufacturing and jobs as well.
The rules are intended to push the auto industry toward electrification and increase supply.
We see that consumers are really responsive to EVs when they get their hands on them.
Still, not everyone is ready to buy in. 41% of Americans polled by Gallup last month said they would not buy an electric vehicle. But the White House hopes tax incentives like a credit up to $7,500 for new EV purchases will help drive Americans to electrify.
We're going to save consumers money. This is a huge opportunity for everyone in this country.
I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
If approved, the emission standards would start for your 2027 model vehicles. Dave Cook of the Union of Concentrated Scientists said the group hopes administration will raise the standard for heavy-duty vehicles and other forms of transportation. A deadly virus similar to Ebola is spreading throughout Africa. That story's still ahead.
Enjoying nice weather here across the country. I'll have why that is and then when that'll change when Newswatch returns. In the meantime, if you're looking for more Newswatch, you can find us at YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
weather is wacko.
Hurricanes are intensifying.
Extreme weather.
Drought and heat waves are more severe.
Is threatening America.
30 or 40 mile an hour wind howls for days on end.
But across the country, people are fighting back.
We're not going anywhere.
With innovation.
We can substantially cool down cities.
And ancient wisdom.
It's worked for 10,000 years. It can work again.
Weathering the future on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
I'm Scott Yu. Come with me to hear the hauntingly beautiful music of Robert Schumann. Schumann was misunderstood and unappreciated in his lifetime, due in part to his mental illness.
Probably bipolar.
And I wanted to know how that shaped his music. Now hear this, Schumann, Genius and Madness, on Great Performances.
In Costa Rica, much of life depends on a tiny little bird. An architect who brings flowers to the fields and fruit to the forest. The result is a realm bursting with wildlife. This is the hummingbird effect.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
Once upon a time in Merry England, there lived a boy called Tom.
We've got time, but maybe Christian doesn't.
More resilient in the natural world must be the key.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport. Support your PBS station and stream more with Passport on the PBS app.
Welcome back, Southeastern Ohio. And again, if you take a live look at our beautiful Athens campus, you'll see people enjoying those beautiful sunshine rays as we've had clear skies, not just today, but throughout the entirety of this week. Now, if you also saw the reason why this is because we have these clear skies. Now, not just here in Athens, but you can also see across the country, it's also clear, but then just down to the south there, they do have a little bit of cloud formation, and that's because they do have a low pressure system that's sitting across the Gulf of Mexico there, and it's eventually going to vect its way up into our region. Now, the reason why we have clear skies is because we actually do have high pressure that's dominating our region, and that's what's keeping us a little bit breezy, but also clear, and then we've seen that sit there throughout this entire week. Now, Athens today, you'll notice your temperature highs were 78 degrees. Temperature is going to drop down to 47 degrees overnight as we do have that overnight cooling going on. With those clear skies, what usually happens is that as easy as the Earth warms, the Earth also cools. So as the Earth is cooling, you'll see it's going to drop lower than what it really should be, but then we'll have good warming coming through overnight. Now, over the 24 hours, you'll see we've had that high pressure sitting here. We've had those clear skies, but the big thing to talk about and why our weather is going to change in the next couple of days is because this low pressure system that's developing over the Canadian, or not, I mean, up in the Canadian Rockies too, but even here in Colorado in our Rocky Mountain region, this will deepen, it'll strengthen, and eventually propagate eastward towards us. And then the main thing that we'll see with any cloud cover Friday and any rain Saturday is when you have this low pressure system here eventually making its way northward and moving into our region. So I look at that map and you see the whole broad region of clear air, clear skies, and high pressure. Well, the big thing to talk about because of that is that you'll have relative humidity is relatively low, and then you also have those clear conditions, you'll have those breeze, and that's what issues not just the special weather statement, but if you look at all of the entire state of Pennsylvania, they've been under a red flag warning. Now, that's what this means is that we are under a region where fire behavior is enhanced, which means things can burn, and they can burn more frequently and more intensely. So it is good to be cautious with any burning. If you were to do a campfire tonight, make sure you put that out, make sure it's out. Things like that is why we have red flag warnings put in effect. Now, Athens tonight, temperature is going to be 47 degrees. That's not going to change the fact with that red flag warning or special weather statement. So just, again, do be prepared, but it will be chilly. So if you are going to be going out for a campfire, you might want to have that jacket with you because those temperatures are going to drop once that sun sets. Now, as we move into tomorrow, you'll notice your temperatures are going to be as high as 80 degrees, and you'll see those low, again, with those clear skies dropping down to 50 degrees overnight. Now, like I kind of broke that down, that high pressure is sitting there tomorrow, again tomorrow night, but now you see that low pressure, it's starting to deepen and it's going to make its way across the region. Down low, this will eventually move on northward, and that's when we're going to see the rain chances Saturday, Sunday, and even slightly into the early hours of Monday. Now, you'll see warming temperatures are the big trend here, but I'll have more on that in final weather coming up.
Thanks, Jake. A virus similar to Ebola is currently causing outbreaks in 2 African nations. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has issued a health advisory for doctors in the U.S. to be on the lookout for the Marburg virus. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the rare and potentially deadly virus.
In the U.S., there are no known cases of Marburg virus disease, and the current risk is low. But the CDC is warning doctors to be on the lookout for anyone with symptoms.
Marburg virus is in the same family as the Ebola virus, and it can cause a very, very severe and fatal disease.
Dr. Kristen England with Cleveland Clinic says the illness is not contagious until symptoms appear. These can include fever, headache, muscle and joint pain, fatigue, loss of appetite, gastrointestinal issues, and unexplained bleeding. Right now, Marburg virus outbreaks have only been identified in 2 African nations, Equatorial Guinea and Tanzania. The CDC says there's no evidence the 2 outbreaks are related.
People can get on airplanes, people can travel. It's very easy to get from one part of the world to another today.
In March, the CDC also warned travelers to the 2 countries to avoid contact with sick people and to monitor their health for 3 weeks after visiting. Marburg virus can spread through contact with an infected person's blood and other body fluids or through fluids from infected animals. It does not spread through the air like the coronavirus.
We all need to be aware, not afraid, but certainly aware of what's out there.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says to avoid contact with fruit bats and primates in these places, both being known as carriers for the virus.
Coming up in sports, Ohio softball's bats continue to stay red hot. Find out more about their offensive explosion when Newswatch returns. But be sure to stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
I'm Scott Yu. Come with me to hear the hauntingly beautiful music of Robert Schumann. Schumann was misunderstood and unappreciated in his lifetime, due in part to his mental illness.
Probably bipolar.
And I wanted to know how that shaped his music. Now hear this, Schumann, Genius and Madness, on Great Performances.
On episode 3 of La Frontera, I'm going back to the middle of the map and exploring from Arizona and Sonora to Chihuahua and New Mexico, where an architect is rethinking spaces to bring communities together. Researchers place cameras along the most biodiverse stretch of the border to get stunning pictures of wildlife. And I eat some famous Mennonite cheese that feels like I'm going back in time.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
The weather is wacko.
Hurricanes are intensifying.
Extreme weather.
Drought and heat waves are more severe.
Is threatening America.
30 or 40 mile an hour wind howls for days on end.
But across the country, people are fighting back.
We're not going anywhere.
With innovation.
We can substantially cool down cities.
And ancient wisdom.
It's worked for 10,000 years. It can work again.
Weathering the future on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
Once upon a time in Merry England, there lived a boy called Tom.
We've got time, but maybe Christian doesn't.
More resilient in the natural world must be the key.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport. Support your PBS station and stream more with Passport on the PBS app.
If you like runs, today is your day. Ohio softball's bats continue to stay red hot in a doubleheader against the Kent State Golden Flashes. The Bobcats made a statement in Game 1, exploding for 13 runs in the bottom of the first without a single home run. But the scoring did not stop there. The lead swelled to as much as 16 as the Bobcats dominated Game 1 of the Twin Bill 16-2. Ohio wasn't able to capture that same magic, in the second matchup of the doubleheader. The Bobcats jumped out to another early lead, but Kent State responded in the fourth. Delaney Robeson drove in 3 runs with a double to give the Golden Flashes the lead. Kent State rolled to a 9-3 win in Game 2. Here's head coach Jenna Hall talking about the Bobcats' hot start at the plate.
I think, we've talked a lot about after yesterday's game, like being ready from the start, and it was really a goal of ours to put it on them very early in the game. And so for us to not just put it on them, but to rack that many runs up, I think it allows us to give our pitchers time to breathe and know that they can spin their pitches. And but just really proud of the way they did it together. And I think we did it without any home runs today.
The Bobcats will look to bounce back this weekend against the Northern Illinois Huskies. At the high school level, the Athens Bulldogs might be even more dominant. They took home a win against the Vinton County Vikings 14-1 in just 5 innings, and last time the Bulldogs destroyed the Marietta Tigers 21-3, improving to a perfect 9-0 on the season. And no, what you're seeing is not a typo. Going into today, Athens has outscored opponents 141-23 this year. It will look to continue its winning ways Friday against the Wellston Golden Rockets. Now going over to the mound, Ohio baseball's 3-game win streak was snapped at the hands of an old-time rival, the Marshall Herd. The Bobcats went down 7-0 early after a 4-run second inning from the Herd, but Ohio would not go away quietly. The Bobcats got on board with 3 runs in the bottom of the third and cut the lead to 1 with an RBI double from Alec Patino in the next inning. Unfortunately, it was too little too late for Ohio, who dropped this one 8-6. Despite the loss, head coach Greg Moore says his team still refuses to quit.
Play till the last out, and no matter, who we play, when we play, no matter what the score is, no matter if we're up 10 runs or if we're down 10 runs, we're going to continue to play to the very last out. And these guys understand that, and they've shown it obviously over a period of time that that's how we're going to play. That's our culture of our program.
Ohio's next time out on the diamond will be in the Battle of the Bricks against the Miami Redhawks. And guys, not only did we get some great games, but even better weather to enjoy it.
Absolutely. I am so excited to have my summer clothes come out of retirement.
I know, I'm ready to put them on. I'm never in shorts and a t-shirt, so it's nice to actually break them out today and not be freezing as I normally am in shorts and a t-shirt. It's been so wonderful.
Absolutely. Now here's Jake with a final look at weather.
Well, for any of you that are cold-blooded, tonight's overnight lows are going to be pretty cold, so definitely have those jackets out because we have those clear skies. Now, moving into tomorrow, you'll see once that sunlight hits, those temperatures will rise, and we'll actually see a daytime high of 80 degrees. Now, again, we have those clear skies, so temperature lows are still going to drop relatively chilly at 50 degrees there with mostly sunny skies. Now, because of that, it's because you have this high pressure that's just sitting in the region, especially moving into Friday. Now, you see that rain moving through. That's where we'll have cloud cover come in Friday, and then those rain chances Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, we do have a drop in temperature as that cold front comes through on Sunday to Monday, but then we have a nice incline again in nice conditions.
A dog named Pearl is known to be the world's shortest dog. Pearl is a 2-year-old Chihuahua that is shorter than a popsicle stick and about as long as a dollar bill. The pocket-sized pup is the new official holder of the Guinness World Record for shortest dog alive. Pearl is actually related to the previous record holder, Miracle Millie, who had the same owner. A dwarf Yorkshire Terrier holds the record at the tiniest pup ever at 2.8 inches tall. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Brenna Nye. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night. What are you chatting? I'm guessing.
Donating your old car, motorcycle, or truck helps support public television. And it may get you a pretty nice tax deduction, too. Plus, we make donating your car easy. Just call our toll-free number or visit us online.